Without a doubt, this man has been one of the more influential people that I've met in my career and life. He's a good friend, and without him, this show doesn't exist. He is the host of the Dan Patrick Show, joining me from his Milford, Connecticut man cave. DP, hello, sir. How are you?
Rich, just a couple of observations.
Okay. Should I grab a pen?
Love the set.
Should I grab a pen? I don't have a pen.
Okay, first of all, Ted scares me.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Can Ted sit down?
Okay.
He,
All right.
he makes me nervous a little bit.
Okay.
Chris and Chris have way too much makeup on and product in their hair. There's way too much product and makeup. Now, let me show you one of my dentists. Exactly, and you still have product in your hair. Paulie, could you come over here and see? Let me show you what my guys don't have makeup.
No.
Come on over, losers. Here it comes.
This is LA, Dan. Dan, this is
boys.
Los Angeles. This is Los Angeles. It's a different story.
Now look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's a mess.
There's no makeup. No showering. No product. No shaving.
It's a mess. It's a mess, Dan.
That's how you do a show. Rich, you got pretty boys.
Yeah, but Dan, this is a different. It's different. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be. It's not all about you. It's something different. See, I mean, there's no zip up hoodies here. We can't have that. I don't think. Am I wrong?
Rich, I don't want people to label your show soft. That's all. That's all. That's it.
Okay.
That's all.
So you're looking out. You're looking. You're good looking out, Dan. Good looking out. I appreciate that.
So there you go. Those are the observations there. And it looks like I think you have your agent there. Yeah. Which is kind of weird. Are we not expecting this to go well?
No, he's here in support, Dan. I have friends. I have family. He's part of the safety net. You know me. I don't need to have a posse to go places. But this is a first big moment here. Not for just DirecTV, but for the empire that you have sparked here. We're just building out the brand, right? And so clearly, I need friends who are here to support me. It's just a nice moment, and you're here too.
Great. Yes, I am. I am here.
Oh man! So what out of Week 5 leapt out at you, DP? What do you? Because, you know, we're all going to be East Coast bias media types. We can talk Cowboys, NFC East, or whatever. But that is a big story, right? What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know if I had. I think what I took away from this weekend, in fact, the first 5 weeks of the season, is because of these offenses and the way they're built, that nobody has a running game anymore except for Seattle.
Dallas.
And nobody has that well, they've just established one for a change, but the defense that Seattle has as well. So you're never out of a game because of these offenses, that you only know one speed with these offenses. Therefore, you saw the Browns with the historical comeback. You saw the Rams, who nearly came back against the Eagles. I think for the most part, if you're down 2 touchdowns, even 3, you're not out of it. And that's because of these offenses now. So that's probably what I would take away from the first 5 weeks. As far as who's good, who's not, who's in between, I'm still trying to figure that out. I think these teams are trying to sort it out to figure out how good they are. I didn't jump off the Patriots bandwagon or the Packers bandwagon. Those were my preseason picks to go to the Super Bowl. I think teams eventually find themselves. You're either going to be good and you're going to know you're good by about week 9. Because then the injuries as well playing a part. So those would be sort of initial takeaways that I've had so far.
What do you make of Peyton Manning, Dan? And by that I mean this. Here we go. You just pointed out that we are in a world in the NFL where offenses rule the roost and quarterback play is crucial more than ever. That Peyton Manning, in my mind, is already established through just 4 games that he is the most valuable player of this league. We could sit here and say maybe Andrew Luck can catch him. Maybe Aaron Rodgers goes ahead and has a great final 3 quarters of the season. But he is, without a doubt, the way that he operates the offense, what he means to this team, he is by far the MVP. And I think we should stop talking about how he plays in January, in February, that he is the all-time best. He's going to pass Favre in terms of touchdowns, if not next week, even though He's just 6 behind him. He's going to pass him in 2 weeks. What do you say about that?
Well, I asked Tony Dungy earlier today on the show, whose career would you want, Peyton Manning's or Tom Brady? He said Tom Brady. So, you know, Peyton's value, obviously. But you know what? There's a lot of guys who put up a lot of big numbers now. If you don't throw for 4,000 yards and at least 30 touchdowns, remember when it used to be if you threw 25 touchdowns, you were awesome.
Right.
You know, Troy Aikman never threw for 30 touchdowns. I don't think Montana ever did, maybe once. So it's all a pass-happy team, so I expect the quarterbacks to be great. Is Peyton on a different level? Absolutely. Does that make him the most valuable? No, I don't think so.
So who
I'd
is?
like to see how this season. Well, let me see how the season plays out. Peyton's going to put up big numbers. He has to. The offense is predicated on that. Where are they going to be? How good are they going to be? And how much value do I place on him and his team if I don't think that they're the best team in football, or they can win the Super Bowl, or not be embarrassed in the postseason? So I thought Andrew Luck was more valuable to his team last year than Peyton Manning was. And I didn't think it was close. The Colts don't have a great defense. They had no running game. Reggie Wayne gets hurt, so he's got T.Y. Hilton. And what's he do? Leads him to an unbelievable comeback against the Chiefs in the postseason. So Andrew Luck was more valuable last year. Maybe it's Russell Wilson this year. I don't know. Don't get drunk on the stats, because if you can't put up numbers, you're not a very good quarterback.
See, now, my two Chris's, as Dan was pointing out to you guys about how we can improve our show, what Dan just did, I learned from him. He started his answer off by promoting his own show.
Yes.
Did you catch that?
I did notice that.
Did you see that, Dan? That's just you going next level. I learned that from you. Tony Dungy was on my show. I asked Tony Dungy on my show earlier. That's how you started off your response. And that doesn't go unnoticed around here, Dan. I'm just saying.
I'm a pros pro.
Yep.
But, on my show, I've been told that I'm a pros pro by the Danettes. So,
well, they have
but
no
thank
choice,
you for noticing
Dan.
that.
They have no choice. You rule by fear.
Oh, they do.
Over there.
No. They do. Those guys are so liquored up by the third hour of my show, they have no idea what they're doing. No, they don't. They have no idea what they're doing.
What is going on over there? I mean, they just show up, they roll out of bed, and they get drunk? That's what's happening there?
Yes. We were, Thursday night, we're in New York City. I take the Danettes out to dinner. We decide to have a couple of beverages, watch some baseball.
Right.
And I actually have to say to them, get to bed early. Next morning, we all get in. An hour later, there's no Seton O'Connor. And we didn't know where Seton was, so Paulie has to wake him up out of a stupor and get him to come in to do the show. That's what I'm dealing with here. If you think Peyton Manning's an MVP, hello?
Yeah, but you think Andrew Luck is, and Andrew Luck, by the way, is going to be kicking off Week 6 of Thursday Night Football on NFL Network.
See what I just
did? I just did what Dan has taught me to do. What? What do you got there? What is that?
Seton just...
Dan, it's just barely afternoon
just gave me a
over
beer.
there. It's barely afternoon over there.
This is what I'm dealing with here. These guys are half in the bag right now. That's the way we roll, East Coast style.
So what scares you about Ted, other than, is it just the standing? If he had a seat, if he had a seat, would that be the fix for you, Dan?
Is this the first time Ted has ever been on camera?
Ted?
Not totally, but probably extending the time frame. We're probably reaching my lifetime limit right about now.
Yeah. So the answer is yes. Dan.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
Maybe don't hold on to the podium quite as tight.
Well, I gotta have somewhere to lean though. It's a long show.
He's white knuckling, Dan.
I mean, that's
he's white. He's white knuckling.
If I get back here, I look sort of like non-committal in that I don't care.
Yeah.
I think you got to let him sit down, Rich. It's a long show.
Do you want a chair, Ted?
And I'd hate to get
like
Ted
standing.
angry at me.
Yes.
No, he's a sweet guy. I don't know.
I like standing, but I don't want to scare Dan. Don't scare your lead-in.
You know how things work, Dan. On the first shows, we work out
I'll
kinks.
do my.
Go for
Here's
it.
my Ted impersonation.
Uh-oh. Hold on. We got to widen out, Dan. We got to widen out the camera.
Okay.
Although maybe that is your.
There.
Come on, let's not go after Ted here.
No, this is good. I'm learning.
Oh.
That's good. I like it. I like it.
Don't worry, Ted.
You're not
Ted,
leaning.
Ted,
You're not really leaning into it.
Ted, don't feed into this. Okay.
I wanna go
If he
give Ted
doesn't,
a
if he
hug.
didn't like you, he wouldn't do this.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Because Dan, I'm going to tell the story, Dan. I'm going to tell the story that the first time I went to a party at ESPN, Susie Kolber was leaving. This was '96, right, Dan? Was this 1996?
And you had a crush. You had a crush on Susie.
Well, who
Kolber.
doesn't? America. America has a crush on Susie
Right.
Colbert, as you know.
She is the Sandra Bullock of ESPN.
Correct. That's a great way to put it. I would say that. Okay.
All right.
She's got gravity.
Okay.
Right? That's Sandra Bullock. So she's leaving. This is 1996, and I step into the backyard of this huge party. There's about at least 100, 150 people there, and I look to my right, and who's standing next to me but Susie Kolber? And I turn to her and say to her whatever popped into my mind, which is like, so where are you from? And then from about 30 feet away, what did you say, Dan?
I don't even remember.
You said, I'm from Ohio. Oh, you weren't talking to me. And the record ripped off like the E.F. Hutton commercial.
Sure.
And I stood there
I know.
completely like what you said Ted looks like. And thoroughly
bad.
embarrassed. But I figured you were hazing me because you cared. Was that at least the way I could put my head on the pillow that night, Dan?
Yes, that is true. There was hazing involved with you. Certain anchors that we did not haze, like Larry Beal. I didn't haze Larry Beal.
You just ripped on on the air. What did you and Keith do on the air that one time?
Oh no. That's
go
so
there?
inside, and we're so past that. But yeah, Larry Beal.
Larry's a sweetheart.
Larry Beal tugged on Oberman's cape one time on a show, and then Oberman, as you might expect, kind of held a grudge against Larry Beal for the next, I don't know, 5, 10 years, something like that.
They've made up, because I told this story.
He's past it. Yeah.
He is. I told this story on the podcast because his we might as well just quickly say it. His home run call was with authority, or it was his slam dunk with authority.
A slam dunk.
Right. And then so you and Dale Keith went on the Sports Center, and suddenly everything was with authority, with the authority invested in me, Port Authority, everything with authority, right? Am I missing an authority?
Yeah. Pretty much. We did an entire Sports Center making fun of Larry Beal.
They did. But the bottom line is I told this story on our previous podcast, and Keith and Larry made up via Twitter. It was a very 21st century burying of the hatchet.
Yeah. Hey, Ted, how you doing?
Here he is. Come on, man. All right, we got to get you a seat. Dan, stay away from
Ted,
him.
do you need a
Come
hug?
on.
No, I like it.
DP, thank you for staying late. Come on. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you joining, and thanks again. And I truly meant what I said when I started this. That what you have done in your show is as outstanding as television and multimedia programming gets. And without you, this show doesn't exist. And your support and friendship. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Dan Atz, real quick. Come on over here, real quick. Come on over, real quick.
It's a meeting of the group.
And Chris, good luck with this. Ted, lighten the grip on the podium, and hopefully one day your show can feel like this show, where you're surrounded by loved ones, people who respect you, would never stab you in the back. My good friends, the Danettes, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think they were stabbing you in the back, actually, while you were doing that, Dan. Be careful. Thank you, DP.
I like Fritzy just peeping over the
That's
top.
Dan Patrick from the set of The Man Cave. We are officially christened here on The Rich Eisen Show.